Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll, and we are heading out to San Gabriel, Rosemead for your September real estate update. Some very sneaky little nice neighborhoods here on the east side. Quiet, pretty solid downtown areas, pretty good schools, pretty desirable place to live where you can still find homes averaging right around that $1.1 million mark, which is pretty good for in Los Angeles right now. We're going to go through the numbers that are happening in the neighborhoods. We're going to break down some month over month. We're going to break down some year over year. And at the end of the video, we'll get into homes that have caught my eye, where I try and find you some value in the market right now. Let's go. In San Gabriel, Rosemead, we are dealing with the same things that are happening across all of Los Angeles, essentially all across the country. We have low inventory. We have high rates. Jerome Powell just came out. They didn't do a rate hike this time, which is nice, but he really truly ensued that these high rates are here for a long time. The expectation from a lot of economists is that these rates are here for at least another year till next September. Many think could be longer. We'll see how that shakes out. No one knows for sure. That's the only certainty. But what we do have to do is deal with the current situation. We have most people over 80% with an interest rate below 6%. So they're in a bad position to get out and sell their home. Buyers can't afford an 8% interest rate in most instances. So we have low inventory, low demand. Prices are staying high because of that low inventory, and that's where we're at. San Gabriel, Rosemead, there's currently 31 homes available for sale. 7 of the 31 have seen price drops. That is something we see in every single neighborhood on the east side, especially as we move out of the hot summer era into the next era of the fall season, where you always see price drops every single year. You always see people who are ready to move on because they got kids and they want to get them in school and all of that kind of stuff. Minimum available for sale right now in the neighborhoods is $698,000. Top end $2.5 million. Our average, very consistent in these neighborhoods, $1.198, $363. So we always kind of see it in that $1.1 million mark. Our days on market is 52. If that number starts to jump another 10, 15 days on average, you're going to see more of these price drops coming. Normally, price drops are a red flag. In this market, it's just how things are going, because you don't want to sit for 2 months trying to sell your home. So home sellers get anxious and want to just move on with their lives. So once they start getting that 60-day mark, and we're at an average of 52, we might see more home prices looming. If we take a quick look into September of 2022, we had 41 homes sell. It sold at 100% clip, so right at the list price is what we got last year in these neighborhoods. But we had 41 sell last year. We only have 31 available for sale. So we are going to have historic year-over-year declines in the neighborhoods. But let's take a more specific look into last month, and we can see exactly what all of this looks like. Looking into last month in San Gabriel, Rosemead, we actually had 27 homes sell at 105% clip, meaning 5% on average over the list prices that we're seeing. That is a very important number if you're somebody who's looking in these neighborhoods, because that is consistent, and consistency gives us information. It tells us a story. So we see 5% consistently being the mark out in San Gabriel and Rosemead. So what that tells me is if I'm somebody out there trying to purchase a home right now, I should probably anticipate, even though there's not high demand, a 5% over the list price, especially on the homes that have just gotten the market that are going to be attractive and jump off. On the low end last month, we had a home sell for $500,000 on the dot. That sold right at the list price. On the high end, $1.9 million. It actually sold $212,000 over the list price. So it was listed for just under 1.7. It went for 1.9. So we see if there's an attractive kind of high ticket end price in comparison to these neighborhoods. They are getting some looks and they're getting some solid offers. We still kept our average right where we're normally at, which is 1.104, 603. Our days in the market was 14. That number is always going to be much smaller than those that are currently listed, because there's going to be a few homes that are sitting that aren't updated, whatever the situation is. But 14 is pretty low, so there was a couple of attractive homes that came on the market, jumped off real quick. So if you are somebody who's hesitant, you should always be looking, always be with an agent if you need help out in these neighborhoods. reach out to me. All my information is public. I'm happy to help out, but you want to always keep your eye on the game because, you know, some value things do come, and when they come, they go quick, as you can see with the 14 days on market number. We jump into August of 2022, 35 homes sold, 104% clip, still 4 or 5%. We're sitting at those numbers, but that is a 23% decline year over year. Honestly, I do updates. I track all of these East Side neighborhoods month over month consistently. 23% isn't terrible. We see most neighborhoods in the 30s, the worst neighborhoods in the 40s. So 23%, you know, it is what it is. We're going to probably see bad numbers when it comes to September, as we looked at with the 41 compared to the 31 available, but we'll kind of deal with that next month. Follow along with the video, you know, subscribe if you want to get those alerts. Let's jump over to homes that have caught my eye. We're going to try and find some value in the neighborhoods and tell you exactly what's going on with some specifics. Homes that have caught my eye. Here's how it's going to go. We're going to look at the entry level. What's the minimum perspective to get into the neighborhood so you can have an understanding there. We're going to get into PK's top pick, where I look for a value play. Normally, this might be a nice house, a great neighborhood, whatever the situation is. In these times with 8%, 7.5% interest rates, it's always going to be a value play, a numbers play. And that's what I kind of break down just as a whole. That's the type of real estate agent I like to be. I like the numbers that tell me a story, our eyes to finish the chapter, and then it's your, you know, kind of thesis that decides if it's a house that's good for you. And then we'll look at the top end so we can have an understanding of what, you know, the highest potential in the neighborhood looks like. Jumping to the entry level first. 1913 South Charlotte is actually the lowest listed at $698. We talked about that home. We thought it was overpriced. It actually expired, so it fell off the map. That's from last month. But we moved on to 4318 Rio Hondo Avenue. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,108 square feet. It's listed for the $698. It's had a $101K price drop, so it was listed for $799. They brought it down to $698. That looms maybe some red flags, right? Because we've seen over a 10% price drop. In a normal market, that's a huge red flag. Foundation issues, mispriced, bad neighborhood, whatever the situation is, we can't take that same perspective when dealing with this market. We see 20 to 30% price drops in every single neighborhood. So when I see that, it could just be a seller who needs to move on with their life and wants to sell the home to get the equity because they're moving out of state. They want to get their kids into a different school district, whatever the situation is. So I'm not letting this be an elimination factor for me. $629 per square foot. I'm good with that. Anything below $1 million, I want it to be between $400 and $700 per square foot. So $629 solid. The lot's pretty huge for this house, $6,421. It's very high for a $700K. Now this is a bankruptcy sale, so there could be some high demand, but they've already seen a price drop. You know, it is tenant occupied as well. That's a huge thing. You need to really feed out. You need a great agent. If you need help with this one, reach out to me. But you really need a great agent who can really weed through the situation, because getting tenants out in California isn't always the easiest thing. Getting the right photos for this and seeing what's going on with a bankruptcy sale. Usually if somebody files bankruptcy and goes through foreclosure, they don't take care of the house. So you got to be very careful when dealing with a home in this situation. The good news is it's a low ticket item, the lowest in the market, so you might be able to come in, renovations, get the tenant out, and have a good value home. But you got to really do a lot of due diligence if this is a house you're going to go after. Jumping over to PK's top pick. Last month we looked at one, the home out there, and it went right at the list price. We love the numbers, so we're gonna stay. This is in North San Gabriel. That first house was in Rosemead, by the way. We're going to North San Gabriel for this one. We're going to let the numbers drive our decision here. It's 435 Adeline Drive, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,614 square feet, listed for $1K under $1 million, $999,000, $618 per square foot. We just talked about that. I'm great there. Good size lot, 6262 is the lot. Here's what jumped out to me and what's attracted me. So we're at 435 Adeline. Just down the street, down the block, 401 Adeline is a 3 bedroom, 2 baths, 1,631 square feet. So we are a 3/2/16/14. This is a 3/2/16/34 right down the street. The home sold for $1.415000. So we're talking about $416,000, nearly 33% over what this home is listed for. So there is great potential. Was that home nicer than the one we're buying right now? Of course it was, but not 500K nicer. So if you come in, this house has a real potential to not only appreciate, but if you have some, so if I'm somebody who's maybe, qualified to get a loan in the 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 area, you come in and can maybe get this house, 5% above. So we're looking at maybe 1,000,005 on this, 1005. And you come in and get this house, do some renovations, put 50, 100, 200 in. There might be a good potential for you just immediately to get that house valued into the 1.4 mark, which is huge because you get basically back your down payment if you can get back to a higher price point, which makes you less susceptible to going underwater on your loan and gives you some breathing room until things kind of work out in our economy and all that kind of stuff. It's obviously not as nice, but I love this house from a value perspective, for an opportunity perspective. Very important to me. Finishing it off with the top dog. Top dog right now is 2501 San Gabriel. We're not going to go over that one. Check back at the August video because we broke that one down. It's still sitting on the market. We knew that was going to happen right when we broke it down last month. The numbers just didn't make sense per square footage. Everything going on, commercial issues with that one. So very skeptical as far as that home getting some attraction. And we were right; it's still sitting there. But we're going to jump to just just below that. We have a home available for 1.990. It's 8526 Grand Avenue, 7 bedrooms, 6 baths, 3,696 square feet, listed for the 1.990, 538 per square foot. So we love that, right? So great number. Normally when you get into the $2 million mark, that per square footage number gets to $1,000, or about half that at 538. The lot's not humongous, right? It's 6558, which is comparable to my top pick and the entry level. So not a huge lot for a $2 million home, but you do get a 2-car garage. There is a back house that is just over 1,100 square feet. What that says by being listed as a back house, one thing that is just crazy prevalent in Los Angeles right now is ADUs, additional dwelling units. When people mark them on their listings as ADUs, what that means is they have permits to be ADUs, meaning you can come into the house and rent out the back to help supplement some of your mortgage. When they list it as a back house, meaning they don't have permitted for it to be rented, that doesn't mean you can't do that, but just be aware of that verbiage, because what that means to you is you're going to have to go through the permit process if you want to go back and rent out the back to help out with your monthly payment. So keep that in mind. If not, you got a beautiful back house, great square footage, 1,100. We've had 7 sales in Rosemead and San Gabriel, over 2 million, or at 2 million this year. So there's definitely some interest at that price point. We talked about the home last month that was listed under 1.7 that sold for 1.9. This home sits out in Rosemead, so might be a good opportunity. I don't hate the numbers. If you're in that $2 million range, I'd definitely give it a look. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.